continuing on with the simplification, it's possible that we can use terms multiple times. Use terms more than once. Let's look at an example here. Let's say we have an example of A, B bar C, or A, B, C, or A bar, B, C. All right, so we have these three terms here. And on these three terms, we're going to look to see, okay, what can we do to make some type of adjustment? All right, one of the items we can do is, let's take the first two terms that we have. And on the first two terms we have, we can say, okay, let's pull out this AC. So if I pull out this AC, I would get B bar plus B. And then we have this remaining term that stays on the backside. B bar or B, that can come out to be 1. So this just comes down to being 1. So I have AC or A bar BC. So let's just clean this up. This is AC or A bar BC. And we can see that I could get down to two terms, and one of these terms also has one less variable. Now, the item could also be that I could use other terms to reduce. What are the other terms that I could see that I could reduce? Well, what I could do is, let's look at the last two terms. On the last two terms, we see that we have BC in common. So let me pull out BC. I got this A or this A bar. The first term remains. That's going to come out to 1. So I got A, B bar C plus BC. And again, here, two terms. One of them has two variables. And if we look at these two items, what the first example and the second example was, we see that there's really nothing that is shared terms. Something has been switched. And in this setup is something remained. You know, what was it that remained was there was always one term that we never touched. But it was possible to use that. So what I can say is, if we look at these two items right here, what we use to reduce was this middle term. And that middle term was ABC. So let's look at something. And remember, if I said I had something that was X, I can also explain X as X and it with X. So we're looking at the reduction simplification theorem in the reverse order. So let's use that here. And let's say I have A, B bar C, or ABC, or A bar BC. And it's this middle term that I kind of want to do this expansion on. So I'm going to do as ABC plus ABC. Oh, you know what we should do is instead, this still works. We can do it as a plus instead of an and, because that's what we need to do. Plus ABC is A bar BC. All right, we do that. I'll use the back two terms, and we saw what this would do. That would take BC out, take A plus A bar, and then we could take the front two terms, pull out the AC, and that will leave us with B bar plus B. We know those two terms are going to go to 1, so we would get the answer of AC plus BC. So see, this is even better for us. Two terms, and then each term only has two variables. So this is something that we can do, is we're not stuck to only having that term used once. We can use these theorems to expand out. And the duplication of terms could also lead us to having a better result at the end.